A single high-speed train rail can stretch longer than a football field and weigh over 6 tons. It looks simple, just steel. But if this steel fails, trains moving at over 200 miles per hour can derail instantly. And when that happens, there's no second chance. So how do you turn raw rock into one of the most precise and reliable structures on Earth? This is how train rails are made. It starts deep underground, where iron ore is extracted from massive mines. This raw material is useless on its own. To transform it into steel, it must go through extreme heat and chemical reactions. Inside a blast furnace, iron ore is combined with coke and limestone. Temperatures rise above 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit. At this point, the material melts into liquid metal. But iron alone isn't strong enough. To survive decades of constant stress, it must be turned into steel. So carbon, manganese, and other elements are added. Now the real process begins. The molten steel flows into continuous casting machines. Here, it is shaped into long rectangular blocks called billets. These glowing pieces of steel are cut into sections and moved forward for the next stage. But they are still far from becoming rails. To shape them, they must be reheated. Inside a massive furnace, each billet is brought back to extreme temperatures. This softens the steel, making it ready to be stretched and formed. At this point, timing is critical. If the steel cools too quickly, it becomes brittle. If it stays too hot, it loses structural integrity. Everything must be perfectly controlled. Next, the steel enters the rolling mill. Giant rollers compress and stretch the metal repeatedly. With every pass, the steel becomes longer, thinner, and more defined. By the end of this stage, a single piece can reach lengths of over 120 meters. But shape alone isn't enough. The surface that touches the train wheels must be extremely hard. If it wears down, friction increases and failure becomes inevitable. So the rail undergoes controlled cooling. Instead of cooling naturally, the head of the rail is rapidly hardened. Special cooling systems adjust the internal structure of the steel. This increases density and resistance to wear. The result is a rail that can last decades under constant pressure. But even now, it's not perfect. At this length, even a small curve becomes a major problem, so the rail moves into a straightening machine. Powerful rollers apply force from multiple directions. They bend the rail slightly beyond its natural limit, forcing the internal structure to realign. Sensors measure deviations in real time. Adjustments are made automatically. The goal is absolute precision. Even a fraction of a millimeter matters, because at high speed, small imperfections become massive forces. Next comes cutting. The ends of the rail are trimmed using high-speed saws. The cut must be perfectly clean, because later, these rails will be welded together. And any imperfection at this stage becomes a weakness in the system. Now every rail is inspected, not visually, but internally. Laser systems scan the surface. Magnetic testing detects microscopic cracks. Ultrasonic waves travel through the steel, revealing hidden defects inside. Air pockets, microfractures, structural inconsistencies. If anything is detected, the rail is rejected immediately, because once installed, failure is not an option. Thousands of lives depend on this piece of steel. Now comes one of the biggest challenges: transporting something this large. Rails longer than a football field, weighing several tons. They are lifted using massive electromagnetic arms, placed onto specialized transport wagons, carefully spaced to avoid contact, because even a small scratch can weaken the surface. But making the rail is only half the story. The real challenge is installing it. Instead of building tracks piece by piece, modern systems use something far more advanced: a moving factory, a train that builds the railway as it moves forward. This machine can install miles of track in a single day. What once took hundreds of workers now happens continuously. As the machine advances, concrete sleepers are placed on the ground. These act as the foundation of the track. At the same time, massive rails are fed forward. Guided by rollers, positioned with precision, they are laid gently onto the sleepers. Then comes fastening. Automated systems secure the rails in place. Clips are tightened with controlled force, not too rigid, not too loose. The rail must be fixed, but still able to expand with temperature changes. Next, the ballast is adjusted. This layer of crushed stone supports the entire structure. Special machines vibrate the stones beneath the sleepers. They compact and align everything perfectly, ensuring stability at high speeds. But there's still one major problem: joints. Traditional rail systems use multiple segments connected together. Each joint creates impact. At low speeds, it's just noise, but at high speeds, those impacts become violent forces, enough to damage the track or even derail a train. So modern railways eliminate joints entirely. Instead, rails are welded into a continuous structure. This is done using a process called thermite welding. A mold is placed around the gap between two rails. Inside it, a chemical reaction is triggered, fusing both rails into a single piece. Once cooled, the surface is ground down, polished until the joint disappears completely. Now the rail is continuous, smooth, seamless, built to handle extreme speed and weight, because at 200 miles per hour, there is no margin for error. If you want to understand how other critical systems survive under this same level of pressure, you'll find more videos on this channel. Like this video if it helped you see what normally remains invisible, and subscribe to keep discovering how the systems that run the world truly work.